Phillips, and I'm on staff here at Christ Church. For those of you who don't know me, I also lead with the worship team here at Christ Church. So I'm going to start off with the verse, and then we'll get into it. Ecclesiastes 3:11 says, "Yet God has made everything beautiful for his own time." So I have been on worship teams since I was old enough to hold an egg shaker. I don't know if you know what was just shaking. So it's 2 years old with my dad. And I have loved every minute of it. It has been my whole relationship with the church and with God. It was how I felt connected to him, felt close to him. And the first time someone told me that my singing and my music was a gift from God, I felt like everything clicked into place. I was like, this is all I need. I just need to sing. I just need to worship him. And as I grew older and more mature, leading others in worship became my way of connecting with him and helping others connect with him as well. So around quarantine, and a little bit after as it started to lift, I began questioning some things within my faith. I began struggling to understand and still relate to things that I had learned and been taught growing up, and I wasn't really sure where I stood. And so one of the hard decisions I had to make and I came to was that I was no longer in a place where I could lead people in worship. Having a gift, especially a gift that leads others in their faith walk, is a huge responsibility. It's not something that you can take lightly and you can do half-heartedly and that you can kind of fake it till you make it through. It's something that requires you to be in communication with God and to have the right heart. And I realized I didn't have that. And so I had to step away. So I stopped leading worship for over a year. And I can tell you those first few months were some of the hardest in my life. I had been leading every Sunday for years before that, and I didn't know if there was any hope for me to connect with God in any other way. I'd only known it through noise, through music, through singing. And so I challenged myself, because I am a person of extremes, to instead of listening to music and singing and playing instruments and making noise, I was going to practice silence. Now, I did not take a vow of silence like the nuns. I started small, and I challenged myself to ride in the car wherever I was going without turning on any music. And so just sitting in the silence for 10, 15, 20 minutes, however long it took me to get to where I needed to go. And let me tell you, that first car ride felt like it took hours. Just sitting there, having to think and hear myself think and kind of process those thoughts was challenging. But as I continued to do it, I realized that my focus began to turn to other things. And I was actually processing through the questions and the doubts I was having. And it was even in these 10-minute increments, I was able to kind of organize my thoughts and start thinking through things and remembering Bible verses from when I was going to Awana in second grade, and kind of just processing through these things. I tried to expand it. I stopped listening to music or audiobooks or anything before I went to bed, and just kind of laid there and let myself think as well. And what I saw and what I heard in that silence was God's voice and what he was telling me and how he was leading me. And that, to me, is beautiful and an amazing example of God's beauty, because for someone like me who felt like I could only connect to God in one way, through music, through singing, to find an even deeper way to connect with him in silence was something I never expected. And so I guess my challenge for you today is try and find another way to connect with God. If you have a way that you love, that is what you've been doing for so long and you feel just connected with him every time you do it, I challenge you to find another way. Go on a walk outside, see the beauty of his creation in nature. If you don't sing, if you don't like singing, I challenge you to try singing. Sing some worship songs in your car by yourself. No one has to hear you. And just give it a go. But yeah, I just want to close by reading the verse one more time because it's one of my favorites and it's stuck by me for a good long while. So Ecclesiastes 3:11 says, "Yet God has made everything beautiful for its own time." Have a great day.